Well, the situation in Gaza remains tense, with President Donald Trump proposing a plan to clean out Gaza. Trump has suggested that Jordan and Egypt could take in the population either temporarily or long term. Trump claims his move will allow for peace and rebuilding in the region. He added that he has already spoken to King Abdullah of Jordan and plans to talk to Egypt's President al-Sisi. This comes as thousands of Palestinians are waiting to return to northern Gaza Strip after being displaced. As many as 650,000 people are expected to return under the ceasefire. Tens of thousands of displaced people are already waiting near the Netzarim corridor to return as the crowds stretched hundreds of meters in 3 directions. However, Israel has demanded the release of civilian female hostage Abel Yehud, failing which it says it will block the reopening of the north. Displaced Palestinians have rejected calls by U.S. President Donald Trump for Egypt and Jordan to take in the Palestinians from Gaza.
The call by the U.S. president is completely rejected, completely. If he thinks he will forcibly displace the Palestinian people, then this is impossible. The Palestinian people firmly believe that this land is theirs, this soil is their soil. No matter how much Israel tries to destroy, break, and to show people that it had won, in reality it did not win. It destroyed and ruined things and showed the people that it is a failed state.
Visuals also showed displaced Palestinians scrambling to get aid as food and water was distributed, while the break-in fighting has filled Gaza residents with optimism. The future of the territory remains unclear. On Friday, Al Jazeera aired unseen footage of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar purporting to show him at several moments of the war in the Gaza Strip. Sinwar, the architect of the October 7th attack, was killed in a firefight with Israeli Defense Forces in Rafah in October 2024. In Israel, citizens expressed a mixture of joy and pain as the release of 4 soldiers is overshadowed by the fact that 90 remain in captivity.
Just the hostages to go back home, you know. That's my only wish, only opinion. Everything else doesn't matter, you know. You saw these girls, they're only like 18. They just need to go home.
Meanwhile, UNRWA has put out an official statement announcing Israel's order to vacate premises in the occupied East Jerusalem. Israel has ordered UNRWA to evacuate all its facilities in occupied East Jerusalem, including Sheikh Jarrah, by January 30th. The Israeli government called the move an attempt to expand illegal settlements in that area. Dr. Azza Radwan Sedki is a political analyst and also an author. He is now joining us live on this broadcast. Doctor, thank you very much for making time for us. There are 3 developments that occurred today. I want us to go through all of them one by one. I'll begin with what is happening in Gaza right now. And we do understand that over 650,000 people are trapped at the Netzarim corridor because Israel says that Hamas did not fulfill part of their ceasefire agreement, and that is to give them back 1 female hostage soldier. So what they've done, they've blocked hundreds of thousands of people from getting back home. What do you make of that development? Let's start from there.
It's outrageous. It's the same as what has been happening all along. Lies, fabrication, fake information, disinformation. I mean, the Hamas said that the person they are talking about will be allowed to go home on Saturday. Period. That's it. Let those people go home. It can't. Look at the pictures. The pictures are of thousands waiting, standing. Yes. This is just humiliation and disrespect of human beings.
Doctor, now that we've said that, and yes, you are right. This is very disrespectful from the Israeli government. But moving forward, U.S. President Donald Trump says that one way to deal with the situation in Gaza is to take some of the Palestinians to Egypt or Jordan. Some of the Palestinians are saying that that is not a very good plan. What do you think about that?
Bear in mind that the Palestinians in Gaza have already been displaced. They are already refugees. They used to live in cities that have become Israeli ones. So one, they're already refugees. And now we want to make them even more of the, give them more of the same. That's number one. Number two, this has been the original thought from the start, to move the Gazans to Egypt. This has been how the far right thinks, how the former presidential candidate Nikki Haley said when she was asked, what should we do with the Palestinians? And she said, send them to Egypt, get rid of them. That's the thought. But Egypt will not accept them. From the start, Egypt said that. And Egypt said, at one point, President Sisi said, well, if you want to move them from Gaza until all this finishes, then take them to the Negev desert. But they want to send them to Sinai so that we expand the war. We get it into Egypt, and that Egypt suffers even more. Like we've already had problems with the Suez Canal revenue plummeting. We are most of the humanitarian aid is coming from Egypt, and we're doing our we've had thousands of Palestinians injured come into Egypt, and yet he wants to bundle them up and send them to Egypt. To me, that doesn't differ much from what he said before about taking over the Panama Canal or turning Canada into the 51st state. It's whimsical proposals that will not happen.
All right, Doctor, finally, now that I said that there are three developments that happened today, there's one that happened at the border with Lebanon, where Lebanese citizens clashed with the security forces of Israel because they were returning home, but Israel has blocked them from returning to their homes. What do you make of that latest development? 11 people have died already.
It's the same process. I mean, the first hospital that was bombed in Gaza, out came Israel and said, oh, it's Hamas who had done that. And then since then, they've hit every single hospital. So they go back on their word. They do not want to leave Lebanon. They do not want any Gazans in Gaza. They want to take over new land, new territory. This is their usual thing. They haven't changed. And as I told you last time, the ceasefire is fishy. Yeah. I don't see it as occurring. Yeah.
It's doubtful. All right, Dr. Radwan, it's always great to talk to you. We are out of time. Thank you very much for your insights and for talking to us today.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.